welcome everyone. All right, we're gonna get started. All right, for everybody joining in today, today's episode of Wholesale Sharks. I just want to let you guys know why the reason for the show. All right, the show was created to give you guys real game, no fluff, link you up with the right players in the industry, and hopefully put you on the right path, man. When I started, there wasn't really that many of these things, so the few that there were, I listened to, and eventually I switched my mind around, and now we're in a position to where we're starting to change our future, and our present, which is most important. One thing, if you get value from today's show, feel free to spread the word, share these things with people. This is going to be available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. One thing that we are trying to grow is the dispo side of the business. So if anything that we do helps you with your business and you need help selling some of your deals, please definitely consider us. We're not asking you for exclusivity. We're asking you just to give us a shot. Hey, put us in the mix. Hey, here's this deal. Whoever can sell first gets it. That's all we want, man. That's it. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring the man of the hour on. Honestly, man, I get excited with some of these interviews because a lot of these players are people that I personally respect like crazy. What up, Donovan? How's it going, man? Like this dude, the moment I met this dude, man, and I'll give you guys a little bit more story about this, I was like in shell shock, bro. So that is some real shit. We're going to bring on the man of the hour, Mr. Antonio. Let's bring him on board here. Yo. Bringing him on, bring him out. What up, man?
What up?
How's it going, bro? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, perfect, man. Let me just adjust this thing real quick. Man, it is such a fucking honor to have you on this show, man. Like, holy shit. Antonio is on the show, man. Like, for people...
Got me on the show finally, right?
My God, man. I've been trying to link up with Antonio for as long as I can. Man, I had to go through lawyers. I had to go through a lot of different red tape to get to this man right here, man. So... for me to have Antonio on the show it's a real honor, man. Like everybody out there, is struggling, man. There's a lot of new wholesalers struggling. There's a lot of uncertainty. A lot of people trying to figure out how to do this right. And hopefully today they're going to have a couple pointers to get them going in the right direction, man. So for starters, man, give us a quick intro, man, about yourself, man. Who is Antonio? And why am I so fucking excited to have Antonio on the show today, man?
Oh, okay. Well, for starters, my name is Antonio. Originally from Kansas, but I was born in Indianapolis, Indiana. I actually wholesale with Don. A lot of you guys know Donnie down at Equity Cash Offer in Dallas. What up, Daddy? What up, Beasley? My boys just hopped on. That's hot. I'm pretty damn good at what I do. Just to put it in light terms.
Yeah.
Put up over $1 million myself last year in wholesale deals. Largest month by myself, single-handedly, not including a team or anything, 265,000. So something light, nothing too crazy.
Holy shit.
So I don't want to say I'm the best in the country, but I'm definitely top 2, but I'm not 2. So I try and do my thing, man.
Dude.
This is probably coming up on my second year. Try and learn pretty quick. I have a pretty good philosophy on sales. I've been doing sales since I was probably like 16 years old. And, I have a strong passion for it. And I truly do believe, you put your mind towards anything, you can do whatever you want, especially in this. Like, before this, I sold gym memberships, before I did this. It's different telling somebody, say, hey, come change your health and fitness goals to let me get your house for 10 grand. You know what I mean?
Man.
But it's hot.
Absolutely, man. So thank you for that intro, man. So for people that don't know a little bit about our background together, man, I was out there in Dallas, met up with you, Donnie, out there. It was great. I went for the one-day intensive. It was definitely worth it, man. But, everything was going along throughout that day. Yeah, it was cool. A lot of jam. It was good. We were moving forward with a lot of the process, the systems, and all that. And then for me, I'm like a huge sales guy myself, and then you're one of the last presentations that came up in that day. You show up and we start talking, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, check this sale out, check that sale out, check this technique. and my eyes went like that. I was like, oh shit, who the hell? What is this, man? I was like in shock, man. During that one day intensive, man, Antonio came on. He put a couple of his previous call rail recordings for us, and we were just breaking down the call step by step by step, rapport, why everything he was doing, why was he doing it, and so that was just impressive, man. Like I remember during the break, I'm like, hey, man, we got to connect.
For sure.
I chase you down to the break room right next to the ping pong table. Dude, I'm telling you, man, game recognizes game, dude. And the moment I heard Antonio do his thing, man, I was like, God damn, that is pure art, man. And you know, I wanted to ask you, like, what do you for somebody that's starting out, man? Like, my brother Rodrigo's on right now, and Rodrigo's also in the room. He was like, holy shit. So for somebody starting out, man, that you might be new to wholesaling, might potentially not be new to sales. Like, what do you recommend, man? What are the first things that you recommend for this person to get going on the right track?
I mean, honestly, I think a lot of people mess up when they first get into it because they overthink. You know what I mean? Like every single book you guys ever purchase or buy is going to tell you, hey, go and learn how to run comps. Go find a great service. Go try a great service. That I'm going to keep it 100. I'm not selling you shit. You know what I'm saying? I have nothing. Sorry for my language. But, you know, or any advantage from telling you to go one way or another. So, I mean, to be honest, it's really get out there and spin the wheels. Because the repetition, a lot of times, just through repetition, you can learn a lot more you can than by just sitting in the background. You know what I mean? Like, overanalyze something. Oh, before I even get on the phone with the seller, I've already ran the comp. I've done a million different things because I've ran this conversation a million times, and then I go to call the guy and doesn't pick up.
Yeah.
So you guys have got to start going out there and shooting your shot. Like, regardless if you've never even made one phone call ever, I would prefer that if you're going to do virtual or anything like that, you got to get out there. You got to put yourself out there. Because if you don't, you're going to get left behind. And you're going to spend too much time getting that analysis paralysis, right? Sitting there overanalyzing something and never actually getting anything done. So, you know, taking action has got to be the biggest thing for them right out of the gate.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like, I know we've implemented so many of the strategies that you guys shared with us out there. And, you know, for us, I mean, you know, we started going around the country, meeting with all the big players, you know, seeing what they were doing, seeing how that kind of compared to what we were doing, you know, but we definitely got a lot of takeaways, man. Like, even some of the stuff that I currently share, sometimes you'll comment on their little eyeballs like, hey. So, I mean, you know, I got to give credit where credit is due, man. Like, you know, for us, you know, yeah, we could go in there and sell, but if you don't know the formula behind it, if you don't know how many reps you need, if you don't know, you know, what the numbers look like, if you don't know what to expect in terms of like KPIs and all that, people are just going to be lost because all of a sudden they're going to call 10 people and they're like, oh, this shit doesn't work. But for people like you and me that I spent the time that I paid you know, with sweat, you know, like how the numbers really look like when you break the shit down. And that's why you set expectations for your team, man. So I think it's very admirable, man. So, you know, learning from your story, you started from the bottom. Like, dude, when you got into the company, you didn't just, you know, roll in, hey, I'm the man. You started from the freaking trenches, man. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Like, you earn every single cent of glory you have, man.
Oh, man, I caught a lot of smoke, you know, when I first came down because, you know, I mean, he already had a company up there already booming, you know, before I got here. Yeah. You have a lot of guys who have, you know, they've been wholesaling and they've been helping Donnie, you know, and you come into that environment and when you already believe you're an A player, it's hard to come in somewhere and you see other people and it's like, okay, I know that guy, I know I'm better than that guy, though I have you pick the phone, right? I might not have the skill to beat them, but I have the drive and the work ethic, you know what I mean? And when I first got here, I think the thing that really helped me get over the curve was, you know, our schedule at the time was 10 to 6. Come in at 10, leave at 6 o'clock, come in at 10. Everybody was doing that. Well, hell, I was trying to come in at 8 o'clock just so I could leave at 11 o'clock. I just got down to Texas. I had nothing better to do, you know. Didn't know anybody, didn't have anybody to hang out with, so I was just working. But when you have those extended hours and you 100% dedicate yourself to the craft, it's hard for the people who are only working the minimum to keep up. You know what I mean? People do the minimum and expect the maximum. It don't work like that.
Yeah.
And so for me, I mean, in a span of 3 months, I was able to lock everybody just because I was able to get in more calls, put in more effort. And then if you think about it, like my sample size is larger. So, sales is a numbers game, right? So let's say 60 calls a day, right? I don't have to do as you, but if I make, let's say 180 calls a day, right? In a week, I'm literally getting in 3 times as many calls. That gives me 3 times as much data that I can go back in and look at, right? And I can see which calls that I do good on. I'm listening to those, right? And which calls that I, bite the dust on immediately right out of the gate, I can listen to those as well. So it makes it easier for someone like myself to pinpoint what I'm doing wrong. You see what I'm saying? So when you're in that type of life cycle and you kind of understand those things, it makes it easy to come in and adapt ASAP. So that's really what I did. I just came in, worked harder than everybody. And it was easy to lap them, But then once, they say when it's real, you can see it in his eyes, right? But you see some of these people, they come in, they say, okay, hey, I want to be rich. Hey, I want to make all this money. I want to do whatever. But there's like a million different things that come before that. You know what I mean? Like when you come down to success, what do you really want to sacrifice? Will you sacrifice family, or is family time more important than your job? You know what I mean? Do you want to go to the gym? Do you want to go do all these things? You sacrifice all the things that you want for what you really want. But I think it's hard for some people to do that because they get so caught up and think they need all sorts of stuff, but they don't actually need that. Especially when you think about it, it's like, yeah, you might give up family time here because you stay another hour at work, but which one's going to put your family in a better position? So it's just having that open mindset as well. But yeah, man, it's been a good run. Since I've been here, it's been going up and up and up. I think I've learned a lot, that's for sure, especially from when I first got. Oh my! If you would have heard my calls when I first got here, I was absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. Every once in a while, I go back and play those. Just kind of remind. That's really what I sounded like. It was a strict. Hi, my name's Antonio. I'm the deputy cash offer. I'm calling about 123 Main Street.
Ooh, man.
Yeah. Nasty.
You were like, I already went down the wrong road, man. How important is it for people to be recording themselves? Because I don't think a lot of people do. They just make a call, not really going back and listening to opportunities. Like, do you think that's important at all?
I think it's one of the most important things ever. Just because, like, if you think about it, anything high level, whether it be like high level sports teams, right? They watch game film all the time. Okay, because it allows you to get a grasp on your opponent. You see, but this game, it is competitive. People don't think that wholesale is a contact sport. It really is, right? How many contacts you get also equals out to how many contracts you get, but they miss that. So, understanding this is a contact sport, you have to be listening to those calls so that you can analyze not only yourself but your opponent. So let's say I talk to a middle-aged woman in Dallas who likes to do X, Y, and Z, right? If I'm able to listen to that, it's like, okay, man, I could have put this here. Okay, I said this, and she responded to it. The next time I hear that, I'm already familiar. I'm already ready to go. So I'm not making people say cold calls, right? You make cold calls. I'm not making cold calls. The first 90 seconds of me identifying which opponent I'm going against, I already know what I'm going to say to him. So it's just finding out, okay, boom, this is who it is. I've already studied it. I already have my materials down. Okay, identify this or that opponent. Okay, let's run it. And it's so much simpler. So if you're not recording your calls, you're killing yourself. 100% killing yourself.
Absolutely. I think that's crucial, man, because a lot of these people, like I said, they're going out there not really listening what's happening, because a lot could change, man. You play that recording back, and all of a sudden you hear yourself, you're like, oh, why did I say that, or why did I say this? All of a sudden, that could turn your next call into a better opportunity. But that's absolutely, man. So a lot of people are asking, man, like the closer's Olympic, man. Like that's crazy. My money's on you.
Oh yeah,
my money's on you.
100%. That's the best, the safest bet you can make. It's
man. Absolutely. Have they given you any feedback as to how it's going to work exactly? Like each one gets a lead. How's the format going to be?
Okay, so it's actually pretty cool. It's going to be 30-minute sessions, right?
Yeah.
Bracket style, so it's you versus somebody else. 30-minute sessions. The cool thing is that it's essentially round robin style, so that I don't get to use my leads. They don't get to use their own leads.
Oh.
When you go to buy your ticket, pinned down here, right? www.closeolympics.com. When you buy your ticket, the people who buy the tickets are allowed to submit their leads.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it's not just us closing all this. We're going to close you guys' leads and then give it back to you.
I'm going to submit a couple hundred, man. I was waiting for this guy, damn it.
Oh yeah, well, that makes it fair, and then you get your leads closed by essentially 12 of the best closers in the country. You know what I'm saying, including myself. So that's why I think it's going to be a lot of value. You're going to see a lot of different styles. What up, Tino? You can see a lot of different styles put up head to head. I mean, obviously, mine is like the Wing Chun, right, of wholesaling, so it's probably going to chop everybody up. But you get to see some other people as well who fall in, you know, a little below the ranks. But I think it'll be kind of cool to. He said, "Yeah, only $97." You're right, Tino.
97 bucks.
No,
Dude,
it's
that's
$7.
that's a hell of a freaking deal. 97 bucks? Gosh.
Yeah, for sure.
That is freaking incredible, man. So what happens, man? You guys call them up, you close them, you say, all right, let's do this. What happens next? Like you send the contract, you call back to do that belongs lead for.
Yeah,
you send that guy a contract.
So the goal is obviously to try and close it while you're on the phone with them, right? So but you have to commit to 30 minutes, okay? Yeah. But then once they go ahead and close the lead, it actually goes back to whoever submitted it, so they get full proceeds. You know.
Oh shit.
The charity portion, yeah. So that's
damn. That is fucking incredible, man. So going back to your beginnings, man. I know you used to work at the gym memberships. You moved out to Dallas and all that. Like, what was one of like the biggest hurdles or biggest struggles for you that you had to overcome? Because it's not easy, man. No, I know. Like back in the day, I was being offered a job in Florida, and I love Florida, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't move across the country for another job. It's harder than it definitely sounds. So, what were some of the most the biggest difficulties for you to overcome to do that? Because I mean, it must be crazy mentally, especially. Oh. Not now since you got that big ass mansion that you're rolling up all day on, fucking selfies up. I'm like, dude, I need to move to fucking Dallas, man. Those houses are fucking legit over there. Shit.
Man, it was, I'll be honest, man. It was tough. Like, I'm from Kansas. Majority of my family's there. My sister was there, and Donnie actually pitched me for like since 2013. I'm moving. Oh, wow. So he's always been trying to get me to come down.
He saw the potential. He's like, this guy in the right industry, man.
And I'm like, man, no. That's probably one of the hardest close. Like, if I ever got closed on anything, I got closed on moving. Because, like, for me, I mean, you think about it, I was good at what I did there. But cost of living in Kansas compared to Dallas is a whole different ballgame,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can rent a bedroom house in Kansas for $600.
You pay. I know. We were looking at that one property that we were potentially going to pick up for 30. We got 3-acre house.
3-acre
in front of the lake.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then you have that unsurety. Somebody he just said, Rodrigo said, how do you fight doubt? That is true. You have to. It's that belief system, and I tell you what, for me to finally make that leap, because I contemplated for a long time. Like, Don's pitched me a million different things. Hey, man, come down here. I know life can be better. Hey, blah, blah, blah. I see him, leveling up. Because it was a lot different when I met him in 2012. Then 2013 comes, and I see him leveling up over time. Like, man, this guy's really got something going on for him. He's got to figure it out. And you start to think about the people that you're hanging around. And I just remember, like, being in Kansas, thinking about, like, who my friend group was. Who the guys I was hanging around with all the time. The richest guy that I probably knew maybe made, I don't know, maybe like 150. And don't get me wrong, that's for some people that's a lot of money. Have dreams and aspirations higher than that. I'm trying to figure out, like, why the heck can I make $1 million to get anywhere close? Your circle's wrong, right? You're hanging. Yeah. So, they say you're a product of your environment. So
yeah,
I was like, man, I gotta change my environment. So finally, he sells me on coming down here for a visit. That's how it started. So I just go ahead and drive down and check it out. So I drove down. I was going to 3-4 days. I'm like 2 days in. Next thing I know, I don't know how it happened. I'm out there getting a U-Haul, packing my stuff up, call my barber. I'm barber at like 11:30. I'm like, yo, can you come to my apartment? He's like, yeah. So he pulls up. He's like, where are you going? I was like, yeah, I'm packing myself. I need help moving this bed. He's like, where are you going? I was like, bro, I'm about to move down to Dallas. Man, stuff is sweet. It's going to be great. And like, it's kind of like on a limb, but you got to have that belief. I do. Obviously, I mean, if you know me, they know I'm strong in my faith, which is right. And if you don't believe in something that is larger than yourself, like you read the Bible, you see that you've done miracles time and time again for other people, right? Like the guy can walk on leprosy. I'm pretty sure that he can take care of me, Dallas. And I think that when people have gone through struggles, especially if you ever failed in business, it's a key that is a key component is failure. Like I failed at many things in my lifetime before, you know, but yet every single day I've been able to wake up the next day, keep going, wake up the next day, keep going. It wasn't like, okay, boom, I had a bad day and then I was done for. It was, I had a bad day, things didn't go my way. Yet somehow you might not have saw it now, but 6 months down the road, it was the best thing for you. You know, because they say it's always his plan, not your plan, right?
Yeah.
So when it came down to moving, I was like, okay, I'm not 100% sure that I can do it, but I do have 100% faith that he's going to get me through it no matter what I'm doing. You know what I mean? So go down there, I get down here, things start shaking. Man, my first month, I'm a good closer, right? I locked up 17 deals. I thought I was hot.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I locked up 17. I wouldn't call them deals. I locked up 17 contracts.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, I'm thinking, this is it,
You're like, this is it?
This is it, 17 contracts, man. I'm the best guy in the game. They can't see nothing. Next month goes by. All my deals died. All of them.
Oh, wow. Damn.
So, like, of course, if you ever done acquisitions, anybody on here watching, if you ever done acquisitions, it's never your fault, right?
Yeah.
Always disposition's fault. My contract failed, not because I got the contract too high. It's
That Omar. Omar did his job, man.
Omar didn't sell it. Quinn didn't sell it. Yeah, 100%. And so, like, I'm like, man, this is how I thought. I was like, man, these guys really do suck. Like, how can I help them suck less? That's really what I thought. So I'm either, I know I'm good, but they suck. I said, so maybe it's just too hard for them. How can I make it easier on them? So I'm looking at the process. I'm staying late at night. And I finally figured out, I'm like, well, and I'm asking Omar, I'm like, bro, how come my property's not moving? He's like, well, these are the offers that I'm getting in, blah, blah, blah. And yours is higher. So, like, I pick up a property at, like, 30 grand. And, the offers that we get are at, like, 22, 23. I'm like, I don't know this. And, it's real estate. When you're new to something, you don't know much, right? Donnie how to run comps. I didn't like it because it was confusing. And I'm like, I don't want to spend time doing this. I feel like it's a waste of my time. And so I'm like, man, I can't figure it out. Like, I can't figure it out. So for me, I just want to find one thing I'm good at. I'm like, okay, well, that next month comes by, get talking to this guy, it's an old guy. And he literally tells me, he's like, man, he's like, how's your day going? We started talking. And I'm telling him, I'm like, I'm kind of frustrated. I've been getting these deals and they haven't been going through. I mean, no one's buying my stuff, yada, yada, yada. And we talk about his grandson who just happened to be in Europe, and his grandson died when he was over there, military.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we connected because my girlfriend lives in Europe, right?
Yep.
So me and this guy,
see you in Paris, man. See you in Paris.
Yeah, that's why I'm always out of there, Yeah. But so I'm talking to this guy, and we become friends, talk about his grandson, and now he actually, or his son had a baby, which is his grandson, right? Who now lives with him. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to sell his dad's house, so I can have some money to put in a fund for the kid. I'm like, that's great. And he's like, you seem like a pretty nice guy. I want you to make money. He was like, he goes, well, find out where you need the house that's for you to make money and call me back. That's exactly what he told me.
Oh, shit.
I was like, what? I never forget. It was on Blaze Avenue. And
wow. You weren't even talking about you were just talking about his life and the family and this and the kid. You weren't even talking about that. What house?
Yeah. And I'm super confused. I'm like, okay, so of course, being super entry level investor Dowdy. So what I go ahead and do is I get on there, I look up my MAO and I tell the guy, and I'm like, hey, well, this is where I need to be. This is the most that I can give you, according to my computer. And he chopped off like $7,000. He's like, I'll do you one better. This is what I'll take for it. This is what I'll take for it. If you can make money on that, then just go ahead and let me know. I said, fantastic. Tell the guy I got an email, whatever. He signs up. I've already signed up tons of people, but none of their stuff sold.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here. I'm like, man, all right. I get the contract, get it back. Felt kind of good about it. I was already frustrated. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm like, the same thing's gonna happen. Like it's happened every single other time. It's gonna sell, or it's not gonna sell, and be pissed off. Well, I make $17,000. End up get signed in for $17,000.
Oh.
And so I came in. This is the next day, and Omar told me that he sold it. And I'm like,
you're like, what?
I'm like, what do you mean you sold my property? He's like, I was like, somebody bought that? It's like, oh man, this is nuts. So I instantly go to call rail and I download the call.
Yeah, you're like, what happened differently in this one? There's 17 other calls, other contracts.
Oh, so I'm like, maybe it's the area. So I write down the zip code. Kid you not, I write down the zip code. I'm like, all right, I gotta have the zip code. What I need. The house is less than 150. That must be what it is. So then I just started looking for all houses less than 150 grand in that zip code, thinking that was the key. You know. So I go through. The next 2 days, I locked up 3 properties in the same zip code. Right. First one, the offer that we got was like 18 grand less than what I got it at. I'm like, man, what the heck is going on? You know. But after going back and replaying that call, I start to realize, you know, the reason why he even was wanting to do business with me wasn't have anything to do with the house. Like, we never talked about the house.
My God.
The whole conversation was about his situation, you know, his grandchildren, his grandbaby that he has right now, and his son dying. You know, and I'm like, oh shoot. I'm like, well, that's powerful. And I'm like, I wonder if I can duplicate that. You know what I mean? And it's all back. I'm like, okay, what about my other, you know, sales experience I have, you know, in gyms and stuff? And I realized same thing. I used to do it when I worked at Enterprise Car Sales. I had one. If you guys ever go to Enterprise, you look at their national ad rev, which like additional revenue was like $7.25 is the goal. You get that, you're wrong, right?
Yeah. At the insurance and at the navigation and at the
100%. Mine was $29.50. You know, so I'm like 4 times what the national average was. You like, I was nasty. But I remember it's like, okay, why was I so good back then? Well, everybody else wore a suit. I never wore a suit. I used to wear a suit with the zip up over it so I could hide the fact that I looked like a salesman. You know, and so when you think about not only just building rapport, but to when you start getting comfortable with people, they start to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? Like this with me, like I was able to tell him, yo, hey, this is, you know, what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make some sort of sale so I can make some sort of money, like straight up. Like all my other deals, you know, and he's telling me, hey, this is going on in my life. I like you enough that I'm willing to do business with you. I'll put it where you need it to be at. You know?
Yeah. Wow.
And so
that's crazy.
I realized that the power of rapport, especially in real estate, it was whole different because, you know, everything else that you read, it's not telling you, you know, to focus on those. It's saying, hey, you know, focus on those things a little bit. But the main thing you need to do is go, you know, make these offers that a customer will accept. Right. Yeah. Put it in a range the customer will accept, because if you don't, they're going to think it's a low ball offer. You know what I mean? And I think that mindset that I was so tricked coming into it, like, okay, boom, everything's going to be a low ball offer. You can't say it, blah, blah, blah. Because, you know, something as simple as like everyone who's watching you understand, like, let's say a house is worth 250 grand, right? You know, customer is going to take a minimum of what? Like that number's going to pop in your head. You see what I'm saying? Because you know what the house is worth. So then I start going in blind. I don't even know what the house is worth ever.
You know? That is huge.
I'm going to get to know the person and negotiate. So I think that, you know, once I started doing that, like not only, I'm thankful for that $17,000 deal, but if I could go back in time, I know I could have stretched it to 30, 40, 50. You know what I mean? But I think it was a great eye-opening point that he allowed me, you know, to do business with him, because I don't know where I'd be at. You know what I mean? And he's just a nice old guy. Regular old guy. His name's Jim. Super cool. But I think it taught me so many lessons about him just allowing me to do that. He's an 8% 20% house. You know, I do believe that, comps like that are important, but after you get the prices, you know what I'm saying? Like 3-4 prices in, they give you the same number 3 times. Okay, boom, then go run the comp. Because if not, it's a psychological thing.
Yeah.
People don't realize they can psych themselves out of the deal before they even get started.
It's true. Like a lot of people go into their podio, they see the notes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's worth 250. He said he wants 260. Screw this lead. Like fucking dad. I'm not gonna call that shit. Next thing you know, you call him up and you start talking to him, and they'll tell you, hey, I think I was a little bit pissed off when they asked me, so I just told them the highest number I could think of.
Yeah.
But honestly, between you and me,
100%.
you know, those conversations start going that direction. That's when you make money. A lot of times you go into the notes, like you said, and all of a sudden, you sell yourself out of the deal before you even call the person.
Straight up.
And like you said when we were there, they might have been upset. Like sometimes they'll put $1 million. You know, they might be upset at the cold caller, but not necessarily, with you, right?
People always prejudge leads. Like, I don't know how to do. It's so hard to tell people this, but you can't mark a lead hot, cold, warm, or anything unless you talk to the person.
No.
And like, for example, if you run the ARV, right? ARV's 5 million, right?
Yep.
And I look in the notes, and from the agent it says 1 million. right? A lot of people, if I ask you to mark the lead right now, are going to mark that lead as hot. They consider that to be a hot lead.
Yep.
But how? What? A hot lead based off what? You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You've never actually talked to the guy. You don't know if he actually wants to sell. You don't know if that's actually what he wants. You don't know
He's
if
joking.
Yes, you don't know if he's joking.
Yep.
But you know it's real, because if you think about how their emotions are, like in, let's say, anybody who's in acquisitions, right? When you see a lead in Podio or whatever you guys use, shout out to Podio, whatever you guys use, and it says ARV 250, asking 100,
Yep.
people automatically get excited, right? They're like,
Boom.
"Oh, ready to call that guy. I want to call that guy. Call that guy." But let it say ARV 100, asking 250. You don't even want to call it. 9 inches of cold without you even picking up the phone.
You won't even give it a try.
They're not even giving it. They're not even giving it a try.
No.
And they psych themselves out. People lose so much money by making those simple mental mistakes, like simple things like time efficiency. Like, I know I can get in more calls than anybody else because I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm not gonna waste my time by running comps all day, right?
Yep.
They're running 3 minutes, right? Then you go to call the guy, he doesn't pick up. You wasted 3 minutes. People aren't seeing that. I think
It's true.
a lot of these wholesalers who even been in the game or are just getting started, there are so many new ways or better ways to do, the things that they're currently doing right now. Like, my goal is to make you as efficient as possible. That's all I want to do. Let me help you out. Let me make you as efficient as possible so you can go and do what you want to do. Like, if you already have a business and it's up and running, you guys are already doing numbers, fantastic. Let me just show you how to increase your margins. That's all I know about, is how can I get the most juice out of, how can I squeeze the most out of what I already have. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you only do 5 deals a month, you guys might think it's a big deal, but if I can add an extra $5K on each one of those deals, that's 25 grand.
Yep.
That you're slipping or missing. People miss out on so many opportunities for money that they already have because they're looking for new money.
Yep.
So
there's so much money to be made in the deals that you already have. Like, dude, last month we had 3 deals where we went back and we went on a price shopping spree last month. We're working with Omar on a couple, this and that.
Yep.
And so I was like, dude, what the hell? I'm just gonna go with these others that we have under contract. We squeezed an extra 10 grand of the 3 deals last month. I was like, oh shit, we just made an extra 30.
It's free money.
It's like the craziest thing. So if you can do the same thing with these deals just by implementing a couple of these strategies, I mean, why the hell not?
That's right, 100%. That's big time.
So for those people out there, man, you get a lot of love here. A lot of people commenting, I need to hear this and that. Yeah. So what do you recommend for them, man, to keep the ball rolling? I mean, so, there's nothing worse than going into your podium and looking at the nodes. Well, once 250 is worth 150, and then deleting this and that. Do you recommend that they don't even look at the nodes? Like, do you just, if they're interested, don't even look at the nodes, just call them up. Don't even talk about the house. What are your recommendations for these guys to at least have one takeaway, one shift in their current strategy? Because right now, a lot of these guys probably open up the conversation with, "Hey, one of my partners sent you over. I guess you're interested in selling this property. Can you tell me a little bit about the property?" That's the 99% of people watching are doing that, man.
And hit them with the good old. I know this call is out of the blue. It's actually like every time I hear that, I want to just slice my eyes open. Because I know for a fact that the call wasn't out of the blue because you sat there and you ran comps for 5 minutes before you even called them. It's not out of the blue. And whoever gave you the lead.
This is in the blue. Shit. It's out of the blue. It's in the blue.
So what I highly recommend they stop reading the notes. Because
stop reading the fucking notes.
Yeah, and have fun. Like, you can't.
Like, a lot of people go into their photo, they see the notes.
Yeah. Making phone calls or talking to these sellers is not always going to be fun, because if you're just talking about the house, you're going to get a lot of no's, right? That's not fun. Do I still get no's? I get no's all the time. But I try and talk about things that are funner to talk about. Like, if you think about it in realistic, like if you just make it as lame as terms as possible, talking about a house, an inanimate object, is super boring.
Yeah, it's a fucking house.
It's just a house. It's boring. You're talking to real people who have real problems. Hola, I see that hola down there. Hola, I speak Spanish. They have real problems that you can talk about. Everyday lifestyle. They have families. They have jobs. They have things they do for fun, right? They have things that motivate them. Talk about those things. Focus on those, because it's going to break up the monotony in your day. Not to mention, you might talk to a seller about one thing that it might not seem important, right? Like, let's say badminton. Okay, the guy's from Chicago, plays badminton all the time for fun.
Yep.
Don't seem like a big deal, but you talk to him about 30 minutes. House didn't happen to be a deal, but you know about badminton. But you could be, let's say, 100 different calls down the road. A couple says, yeah, you know, how's your day going so far? Oh, no, now her playing badminton. Now you know a little about badminton. You guys can have a conversation. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It gives you those bases because your goal in sales is to be able to identify customer needs and wants and provide them, right? Easiest way to identify somebody's customer needs and want is number one is to ask, right? So asking the right questions. But if you want the true answers, you have to have that relationship with the customer so that they're going to be able to give you the actual answer that you want and not some fluff. You know what I mean? If they're able to be real. I'm real with you because I know you and I like you and I trust you. People, like, if you think about it, if I can make myself as similar as you as possible, of course you're going to like me and trust me because I'm you. You know? How many similarities can we have, right? How can I learn to be more interesting? Like, I think a lot of people focus on being interesting, right, versus being interested. And I think that it's one of the issues is that they say, okay, well, I asked the customer about the square footage and blah, 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 and the price just doesn't work, so it's not a deal. That's absolutely not true. That's absolutely not true. I can get on the phone with the same person that you just think is not a deal, right? And both our prices be completely different because one's going to be based on the value of the house and the other one's going to be based on the values of the problems. You see what I'm saying? But people miss that concept. Like, you have a house right now, right? You have let's say you want $500,000 for it. Okay. I promise you, Ramon, if your girl got coronavirus and they said, hey, the price to cure the virus is $10,000, you don't give a fuck about the house anymore.
Fuck the house. You're giving $10,000 right now.
That's right. Because those problems supersede, you know, the value of the house. But people forget that because all they do is sit there, call people, talk about the house, and it's boring. They say no. But if you think about it, you're not the first one to get their number. Somebody's already called them, and chances are they already called them. They had a hour-long conversation about the same damn house. You know, I've heard it before. That's why you guys run into. So how much you gonna pay me for it? You know, or what can you offer me? What's your offer? What's your offer? All I want to hear is your offer. And then you give them the offer and they jam on you. And you guys are like, they get so confused. Like, why did they hang up? You gave them everything, right? The only thing you're holding back is that number, you know, in the first place. So I think that just starting out, like, you guys have got to start getting those reps in. Okay. I mean, you know, obviously there's ways to cut the curve, right? Find mentorships, find somebody to teach you, find somebody to help you out. Seek help. Number one, seek help. You know, I did it the hard way. If it was me, if I can go back in time, I would have done it a little bit different. But, you know, I did the hard way by putting in the man hours, that sweat equity, I like to call it, you know, which is the hard way. I miss Saturdays, I miss Sundays, things that somebody could have just told me and it would have just put me light years ahead. So he says, what do I consider a qualified lead? Can I answer that real quick?
Yeah.
So, what I consider a qualified lead is somebody who has a price and a timeline. If you don't have an actual, I'm talking about, they told me a price and a timeline is not a qualified lead. Straight up. Like, I need to talk to you. You need to tell me you want X amount of dollars, regardless if it's a deal or not, right? You want $100,000. You're not gonna take anything less for it, you know, and I'll sell within 30 days, right? That to me is a qualified lead because I can do something with that. Because if you don't, you don't have a price, you can't do anything. If somebody says, "Oh, I really want to sell my house," I'll sell it right now, but I don't know for how much. That's not a qualified lead. That's a waste of time. Like, they're just kicking tires. Somebody, what do you say? I have a contract for 130 and not getting any buyers.
Yeah. So, I mean, anybody that has contracts out there, I mean, you know, you can't get a buyer. I recommend at least ask somebody. You know, there's so many dispo companies out there, depending on your area, that could help you move these deals. A lot of times, that's probably the best way while you build your own list. I know we've been using you guys out there in Dallas for a couple of stuff. We're still working on some things in there, but that's probably what I'd recommend in terms of that. I mean, what are your thoughts if you can't sell a deal?
Yeah, if you guys can't move, you know, just use somebody who already has that list. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of times people think they have to do the whole process by themselves. You know, from acquisitions to transactions to dispositions, right? Imagine if you were able to just specialize. You know what I mean? People can just become acquisition agent. Okay, boom. I can call Ramon. Ramon can move my deal. Or I can call Antonio. He can move my deal. So all I got to do is worry about getting more deals because I know they got that already covered. You see? respect my craft. I think a lot of people miss out on it. They think like, okay, I have this property at this price, and because I can't move it, it's not a deal. Let somebody shoot their shot. You know what I mean? People have different amounts of buyers. Like in Arizona, I know for a fact that Ramon has different buyers than we do. You know what I mean? I need help with the deal. Hey, bro, can you move this? It's a system. It's people helping people, especially if you guys have the best interest in mind. You know what I mean? He said, how do you deal with
aggressive sellers? Can you locked up there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me all right? Yo, yo, yo. I think your Wi-Fi, man. Some with the Wi-Fi there. Can you guys hear me? You guys hear me okay? Okay, cool. We're gonna get him back on. We just having some technical difficulties. I'm gonna try and get him back on here. Shit's getting good, man. Yo, yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it just froze for a little bit.
Dang, FBI agent shut me down. Haters.
We started saying the truth, man, and they shut your ass down pretty quick, man.
They did me bad. What was the question? I'm sorry about that.
How do you handle aggressive sellers? People are just fucking, aggressive, I guess. Just a little bit upset over the phone. How do you deal with aggressive sellers?
Yeah. So for when it comes to anybody or their tonality or the way they deal with you, right? You talk to these customers, people say, "Oh, the guy was just mean." Okay, you can hold that, right? Number one, you need to match their energy. So like if you're coming to be aggressive, hey, who is this? You have to be able to come back at them with the same amount of interest that you're not backing down, because they're expecting you to back down, right?
Yep.
When dogs bark at you, okay, they're expecting you to be scared, right?
Yep.
Dog bark at a lion and see what happens. You see what I'm saying? The lion's not going to go anywhere. The lion's going to roar back. Dog's going to back down. It's got to be like that. You have to be able to match that energy, but also be caring enough or funny enough to mask it to where they don't just jam on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, we used to call ourselves getting pleasantly persistent. Okay? So like I need to get my message across to you, and I'm going to give you the same energy that you're giving me, right? But I'm not going to do it in a way that's offensive. So I'm either going to, for me, I'm either going to crack a joke. I'm going to open up. If they are giving you that type of energy, you haven't built enough rapport yet. That's what's going on. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a prime example of I have not built enough rapport because this guy is still aggressive. And if he is aggressive, maybe he's having a bad day. Did you take the time to ask him how his day was going? What he's got going? Maybe he's busy. And
you can also straight up ask him, hey, I noticed you might be a little bit upset. Did I say anything to get you upset? Like, is there something that I might have said? I just want to apologize. Well, is it me? Mm-hmm. You put it on yourself, ask him.
On the phone, like I say shit like that, and anything you can say to kind of get your customer laughing or get them off that tone is always going to be one of the best keys, especially if you're calling them and you're saying things like, "Hi, my name is blank. I'm calling about your house." Like that's the best. That is the 100% best way to get shut down. You won't read it in any of the book, but that's what it is. If you call somebody and you say you're calling about their house right at the gate, it's the best way to get shut down possible. ASAP, just easy. It's easy money because they don't want to hear that, and they already know what you're there for. Like one of my goals, I need to go 2 to 3 minutes within the call without them even knowing why I'm calling them in the first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, why the fuck am I being called?
Wait, who is this? Try and put yourself in the mindset of one of their friends. So, like, if you wouldn't, one of the things I tell my guys all the time, if you wouldn't call one of your friends that way, don't call a customer that way. Like, if you're not going to call your best friend, like, hey, Ramon, this is Antonio with Equity Cash Offer. How's your day going? Don't fucking do it to a customer. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Like, It's boring. It's lame. It's going to get shut down. She says, what's the best opening? What's the best opening for a cold call? I personally don't cold call. But he says, do you ask them how their day is? Of course I ask them how their day is. I mean, on how their day is could be 50-50, but you got to be able to combat it. So you can say, hey, how's your day going? And say, oh, my day is shit. Or am I allowed to curse?
Why the fuck not?
They can say,
we curse on this motherfucker all the motherfucking time.
Yeah, 100%. They can say, oh, my day is shit or blah, blah, blah. You got to be able to be
fucking Corona's ruining goddamn America.
That's right. Yeah, straight up. So I just like to ask my customers about everyday stuff, right? I call it form. It's family, their occupation, their recreation, motivation. So kids, wife, family, things like that, what they do for work, recreation, some simple ones. Ask them what they're doing right now. 90% chance, like let's say you called them last week, there's two options. They're either at work or they're at home. It's coronavirus. They can't be doing it. They can't be doing anything else. You know what I mean? And if they are working from home, how's that going? What's up, buddy? I think that when you guys skip those elements, you miss a huge piece because at the end of the day, it's all about leverage, right? How much information can you obtain from the customer and then use it against them? You know. But if the only thing that you guys are using are house elements, that's not that much leverage. Anybody can have that.
Yeah, you ask a couple of questions, you're done with the fucking conversation. There, you've got the answers you need. How much do you willing to ask? How much are you willing to pay? How important is it, or what is the correlation between a longer call versus a shorter call?
Okay, so in my opinion, the longer the call, generally the better the price you get.
Boom.
Shorter calls. Let me tell you something. If I call someone and I can close them in 15 minutes. And they sell me, they sign a document, sell their house, I gave them too much money. I already know out the gate I gave them too much money.
Yeah.
When my acquisition guys, when they send me a lead, say, hey, can you run the comp for this for me? The first thing I do is click call, what how long the call was. Woo! 15 minutes call was poop. I already know. I don't even have to listen to it. I know the price is too high. Regardless if it's a deal or not, we could have got it for cheaper.
Yeah.
Because when it comes down to actually getting to know somebody, I mean, like, how much can you really tell somebody in a 15-minute span? You know, like it has got to be personal because when you go to close somebody, right? Like your close has to be personal. I'm tailoring my close to you. People always ask me all the time, say, bro, what's your best close? I don't know. It depends on the customer. You know what I mean? Like if you're if the reason they're selling their house is that they can move towards their grandmother in Missouri, right? My close has to be tailored on the grandmother in Missouri. It has to.
Yeah.
So, you know, when it comes down, he said big gems. When I honestly think that it's focus, like 90% of us, it's got to be focused. Okay, what am I focusing on? I'm focusing on my customer. I'm not getting sidetracked by the excitement or the mumbo jumbo or the fact that it's already a deal because I ran it, right? These people have a bottom dollar amount. Why not go? Why give somebody a maximum acceptable offer and give them more than what they actually need?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I've noticed that with your technique, you know, it also makes it a lot easier to go back for price drops later on because you're already there, buddy. Hey, man, remember me and the dude we were talking about, you know, the shit over there in Missouri, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, hey, man, I got some news, man. I want to get this done for you. But you know how the shit's going on with Corona right now, man. I mean, is there anything you could do? I'm going to go back to these people. All of a sudden, you're their friend who had this long fucking hour conversation with them. That, you know, you're trying to go back and make this thing work. As opposed to a person that had a 3-minute conversation, you know, how can you go back to someone that you don't even know and try to hit them up with the price drop?
That's right. Because that attachment isn't there. They don't know you that well. You know what I mean? Yep. It's like, you know, say, get away from me. I don't know him. It's the exact same thing. You have to be able to spend time with these people so that, number one, you're unforgettable. Number two, it makes the whole transaction way smoother from start to finish. Because think about it. Get a property in the contract today, right? Let's say you even find a buyer, let's say in 2 days, it's a great deal in 2 days, right? But the buyer can't close for another, let's say 15 days. You have to keep that customer on the hook for that period of time. It's a lot easier when they like you. You know what I mean? People don't like people who only hit them up for something, right? So like staying in constant contact is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I'll to my customer, let's say we talked about Netflix, right? And I need access to the property. And I know that the customer watches Blacklist because I know Raymond Reddington is one of the greatest characters on earth. Okay. So when I go to hit him up, it's, you know, hey, man, I know it's Thursday, man. You can watch the episode of Blacklist, blah, blah, blah. We're going to chat about that for a second.
Boom.
No, he didn't see it. Oh, hey, man, by the way, and now I can Trojan horse in my agenda. You can always sandwich things with rapport, right? So I can, you know, about rapport. Insert what I really need, and then exit with rapport again. By the way, I know you missed it. I'm gonna shoot you the link. Here's a link to the. I found the episode of Blacks on YouTube or whatever the heck it is. Right? Boom. Go ahead and take a look at it. But yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for giving us access tonight at 4:00, man. I appreciate it. I'll call you out. So people miss those little steps and think like, okay, I got the contract. right? I don't talk to the customer until closing day. That's
Yeah.
so bad because when things
Yeah.
up,
They disappear.
they disappear. Customers ghost you. You could have contractors that come through and say sideways things to the customer, right? But
Yep.
at that point in time, it's trust. Who do they trust more, me or this guy? You
Yeah.
know, if they're really your friend, like I've literally had customers before call me and tell me that, hey, contractor had showed up and tried to push us out of the deal, right? Customer straight up called me and was like, hey, this guy tried to show up and offer me 10 grand more than what you bought my house at. I don't know what he's trying to do. Does he work for you? Yeah, he works. Need to fire him. I sure do need to fire him. Yeah, sorry about that. I will not be sending him back. Click blacklist.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Yep.
but without that rapport, Bill, the guy got offered. They get offered more money, but yet they still stick with you because they have that relationship.
Yeah.
And not to mention, even when you're delivering, when you're going for the price drop, right? If you think about it, it's easier to get bad news from someone you have a better relationship with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you're calling your brother. Hey, man, damn it, we thought we were gonna do this. Something finance fucked up in the economy and shit, and they're gonna need it just a little bit lower, man. What do you want me to tell them? Like, how much lower can you go so I can tell them?
Right. I still want to be.
know?
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying every time. It's I still want to be able to help you out. I would hate to just give up.
Yeah.
Even help out as much as possible, but the contract went through and it just didn't work, man. I mean, can you help us out? Anything help us out a little bit to where I might be able to make, and then shut the fuck up and let them do their thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and also a huge key is when you guys ask questions to customers, stop talking over yourselves. A lot of people do that. Like they'll be like, would you be willing to do business today? Because if you can, we can close in 9 days, and then we can do all the closing costs, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Like they just need to ask that question, hush, let the customer give them a chance to respond.
Yeah, give them a chance to give a chance to not respond.
That's
there
right.
Might be a reason. They might be choking or some shit, dude.
100%.
Space is amazing. Like so many people underestimate. What up, Diddy? Real estate Diddy in the house. What up, man? Checking out the competition over here, man. Trying to see
5 later.
Trying to see what the strategy is going to be, man. Look at him.
Hey, Diddy probably got on her hoping. I bet Antonio's going to do a live call so I can get his techniques. Absolutely. I'm going to say.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome, man. That's gonna be awesome. We're definitely gonna be on that. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna be rude, man.
Oh yeah, that's my
guy. A lot of good friends on this thing for a pretty good cause. At the end of the day, dude, for $97, like people professionals are gonna be closing your fucking. I'm gonna submit 200. Like here you go, guys. Deal with those. Let me know if anything comes out from it.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be like I don't submit some of my own leads. Like hey, y'all go. But man, I think that's actually probably one of the coolest things I've seen done. Like I've been to a lot of like real estate events, been at some workshops. I've been to a lot of masterminds, and to actually see people get to go in and close them because that's what's important, right? People what they think. The most important part of any business is going to be sales, straight up.
Yep.
If you can increase your sales ability, then you can increase the profitability of your entire business.
Yeah.
So I think when people are seeing this stuff, even if they're, solopreneurs are doing everything by themselves, like just increasing that little aspect is going to be huge for them. He said no fluff from my own voice. So I think, getting to be able to see all those different styles is going to be hot. I'm actually excited, especially when you are when you consider yourself to be an expert at sales, you can always learn something from anybody. Like, a long time ago, like even people who are like absolute garbage, right? They might do one thing that's really, really, really good, and you can, that line might be hot. You know what I mean?
And a lot of times it's not necessarily learning. It might be reminding yourself, right? Because you might already have heard it, you might have done it, but then you forget because there's so much shit going on, fucking killer bees and killer wasp or whatever the fuck's going on, 100%. Aliens and shit, and all of a sudden it's easy for you to forget. Dude, the strategy is this. Spend all the time with your fucking sellers.
That's right.
Don't prejudge a lead. The longer that you're on the call, the more money you're going to make on it. And these are things that you might have already heard before or done or thought or implement, but all of a sudden you forget. Like, honestly, for me, we did a 2-hour training a while back, and sometimes I'll go back and listen to myself for those 2 hours to remind myself, and because I see the way I sometimes I'll say some of the stuff that I believed in or, while right now it might be a little bit different, I'll still go back and listen to myself with these things because obviously some shit was working at that point while I was doing that presentation.
Right.
So that's why it's important to go back and review and replay and listen to these guys that are still doing it, that are still believing in the process.
Yeah.
Because just because somebody doesn't believe because it didn't work, because they give up after the 3, 10, 20 calls, doesn't mean it doesn't work.
That's right. It just didn't work for them.
Exactly. I know one person was asking, man, how many qualified leads are needed on average to convert a contract, you would think? I mean, I know it varies by person and by skill, but what's kind of like the average looking like?
It varies per person. Okay, so like the KPI that we use is for every contract, it takes 25 conversations, right? So for every one out of every 25 conversations, we'll give them, our average guy will give them one contract. And so what I consider to be a conversation is anything with the seller that's over 90 seconds. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of people count calls. I don't count calls. My goal is, I don't care how many calls you take, but I need my guys to have at least 25 conversations every single day, because it gives them a chance to have at least one contract. So he says, needed as many leads as it takes for you to get 25 conversations.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you might have 100 leads and you have 10 conversations per day.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? You're gonna be short.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Like, a lot of people think, I have 200 leads, I didn't get a deal. Well, how many conversations did you have?
Right.
10. And how do you know? How can you go back and verify these things? Like, dude, you obviously need to have the right software in place, man. To be able to do that and to review these things. Because if you don't have that, then you're just going blind, and you might be having 5 per week.
That's right. People have if you guys don't have systems in place, you're going to kill yourself right out of the gate, right? You got to have the right systems. You got to have the right processes. Just that way, because follow-up is so important in this game. If you're not able to properly track your leads, you can get sidetracked. Especially you got a whole bunch of leads coming in. You talk to one guy, those people who work off of paper and sticky notes. That guy. Like, you come to my desk with 94 sticky notes with a whole bunch of, here's this guy right here. Like, the systems that you guys can implement can help you with that are huge. It's huge. Because if not, you're going to get lost in the sauce. And then you might have something that might be a deal. You know what I mean? But you lost it because you lost your little piece of paper. Or you didn't know to remind yourself to go back in and give that customer a call. Like, those critical 2-day follow-ups or 48-hour follow-ups, as we call them, are huge follow game.
Absolutely, man. I know we're running a little bit out of time here. I know IG only gives you like an hour for a lifetime, man. Any last words for people watching out here today, man? Like,
any last words, man? Go over to closerolympics.com. It's pinned down here at the bottom. Follow me on Instagram. I will have a TikTok coming out soon. I'm actually going to unleash a YouTube after, but I'm going to do it after I win the Closers Olympics. He's getting cooked. Everybody else is also getting cooked. A bunch of no names on there also getting cooked. Watch me win. It's $97. You're gonna watch me win. It's gonna be
worth it.
And I promise you, you're gonna get educated, and I promise you, you'll be entertained. That's 100% guaranteed for sure.
Man, can't wait, bro. So appreciate you being on the show, my friend. I mean, I wish we could have a little bit more time, but goddamn, you're giving a lot of value, man. And we respect you tremendously. Like, we recognize the real from the fake.
Straight up.
Fluff.
Straight up.
The shit and the bullshit. And we'll call it out very quickly. And, that's the last thing you want, man. The last thing you want, people to be fucking with fake people that aren't really doing it. You guys are doing it every fucking day. Exactly. You have the calls to prove it. You have all the numbers to prove it, man. So much love, man, for you, the team out there, everyone. And I'm looking forward to you bringing home the W, bro.
For sure. And big respect to you, Ramon. Fun fact, I have never, ever done a full live with anybody except for you. This is the first one. Did you know that?
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this guy is difficult to get anywhere, man. Like, you have to go through lawyers. You have to call the fucking White House and shit. I'm like, God damn. So I was pretty fortunate to have you here, man. Like, super mad respect, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing much of your success.
Exactly.
Everybody go follow my guy over here. I'm going to put it all in the notes.
Sure.
This, if you missed this live, it's going to be on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. It's going to be all over the place. So definitely go back and replay it. I'm excited to see what the future has in store for you, man. You definitely have a lot of stuff coming up, and I can kind of see the strategy that you're sort of starting to go down. So I'm pretty excited to see the journey, bro.
ASAP, man. For sure, man. I appreciate the time, for sure. I don't know what that guy's saying in Spanish, but it seems really important. ASAP?
I don't know. maybe I don't know, man. Maybe they're like maybe they're asking for help. I'm like somewhere right now.
It's definitely been fun. I look forward to it's going to be a big year. But yeah, man, you guys need some deals moved. Definitely hit up Ramon. If you got anything in Dallas, hit me up. But yeah, man, it's going to be great. Let's do it.
Absolutely, bro. Well, we'll talk to you soon, my friend. Thank you so much, man.
For sure. Thanks, Ramon.
Cool. Peace.
What's your offer?
What up, guys? Oh my freaking god, man! Like, dude, this conversation could have kept going for fucking hours, dude. I'm telling you, like, it's so easy to forget. It's so easy to forget the strategy. It's so easy to forget that you really need to care about people. Like, one of the biggest tips that Antonio gave me, dude, put a paper on half of your screen and don't even look at the notes. Put on the half portion of the screen. Don't look at the notes. Just call the people right up. And honestly, man, after we went to their offices out there, man, like it really reshaped our whole company's acquisition strategy. All right, we were lacking in KPIs. We were lacking in some areas here and that. Just the visibility that we got from them was huge, man. So pretty excited. Thank you guys for joining again. I would like to thank a couple of people for making this show possible. Once again, my brother Rodrigo. Follow my guy over there, Rodrigo by Z. Once again, Antonio, everybody go follow him over there, man. That guy, watch out for that guy, man. That guy is as legit as it gets. To Debbie as well for helping us put the show together. A top lady boss. Go follow her on there. We are going to make this available everywhere, man. But yeah, if you haven't signed up for the Closer Olympic, definitely do it. Go cheer on your favorite closer. All these guys are fucking amazing. And I'm sure it's going to be very, very entertaining to watch. All right, guys. Peace. We are going to head out. Talk to you guys soon, man.